Just there we go. There we go. What's up, you guys? We are back. YouTube. We are back. Twitter, TikTok. You guys are in here. Smash them likes. Of course, Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. It is your boy Harish. I'm here with my boy Tim Wayne, and I'm going to invite him into the TikTok here in a second. Tim Wayne, my guy, how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome, awesome. You have to mute yourself on TikTok. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Um, well, guys, we got a lot to talk about. Of course, Texas had their annual. Well, CDC had his annual like town hall essentially, right? So he kind of in between the fall and the spring sports. Obviously, Texas softball kicks off tomorrow with a brutal schedule to start the season. Number one overall, Texas softball starts tomorrow, so kind of like your final preps for that. Texas women going toe to toe with LSU right now. If you guys are at Moody and listening to this, first off, thank you. Second off, thank you for showing up at Moody and supporting our girls. Currently up 40-36, and here at home against LSU, number 5 ranked LSU. So an opportunity for the women to continue to increase their not increase, but continue to improve their resume. Um, and the Texas men as well, right? Like they've gotten a couple good wins under their belt the last couple weeks. Of course, beat Oklahoma on not last Saturday, on Saturday. They get a win against South Carolina last week. They got another top 20 win. So they'll hopefully start to stack a resume. Tim, as of this morning, Texas men are considered last team in, so they're
Yep.
in the play-in. You have a big game. Chris Beard is coming home this week, so
Yep.
a big game against Ole Miss. And then look, I think Tim, if you go 2-3 the rest of the month, I think you're really setting yourself up well to not be in the play-in, but actually be in the tournament. I think you have enough wins to accomplish that. So lots to talk about. Spring game is back. I know Tim, you had a lot of hot takes about the spring game last year, so I'm really interested to hear what you think about it this year. But before we get into all that,
Yep.
how you doing, man?
Good, man. Tired, but good. Um, we always think that it's gonna be like this slow period, and then something like this happens, and then we're like, all right, well, like we got to get back to it. It's like we want to, like you said, we got women's softball kicking off tomorrow. But then, like, somehow football sneaks in there and grabs the headline, grabs the major headline. So I'm excited to talk about that. The women, have been playing solid. That first quarter was kind of shaky, but it's definitely looking like Texas is trying to avenge that loss that they suffered to LSU earlier in the season, and I'm hoping that they are able to pull that out.
Listen, Aaliyah Crump coming back is the key to this team.
Right.
Her ability to space the floor. Ashley in the Tech Talk chat says, "Yo yo yo, what's up, Ashley? Popping, we chilling. Talk about Texas sports like we always do every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time." Listen, Aaliyah Crump spreads the floor for this team. It gives them another option.
Mhm.
It gives them the ability to spread the floor with Jordan Lee as well, a legitimate 3-point shooter. Aaliyah Crump can drive the ball. She has size as a guard. A little bit different than what Rory Harmon can provide, right? Rory Harmon is a swift, a shifty, uh, passer of the ball, as she has now become officially the all-time Longhorn women's assist leader in women's Longhorn basketball history. So shout out to her, balling out of control this year. She just provides and Aaliyah Crump just provides something different. I think she scored like 15 points in that second quarter, unreal. Yeah.
So and I would say that, like, going forward, like I've been able to really just kind of hone in on the Texas women's basketball team, and they're sometimes into these shooting slumps, right? They've definitely played some lesser opponents. This he's following these last weeks outside of the LSU Tigers a few weeks back, but at times you could see the girls not necessarily putting up the ball or getting great shots up, and tonight seems a little bit different. So glad to see that they were able to kind of put the ball in the hole. Rory is definitely a playmaker, and she likes to give the ball out, get the ball to the shooters. And so I'm glad we were able to see that. They went on a second quarter. They put up 27 points. Like that's really, really good. And so being able to do that, hopefully that continues on, right? Because LSU is not anything to scarf at. So again, getting another opportunity to again avenge a loss would definitely put Texas in a big position for.
I think the Texas women, like at this point,
Are
I
they?
think in my opinion, they're locked into a 1 seed.
Yeah, I think they're, and listen, I'm not taking anything against LSU. I definitely think if LSU gets the win against the Lady Longhorns, I definitely think that they put themselves in a situation where they can get themselves a number 1 seed. But even if Texas were to lose, right, I still think that they deserve that number 1 seed. They just seem to be more complete than a lot of these other teams here throughout throughout the country.
Yeah, let us know in the comments on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter. We're live everywhere. If you guys are on TikTok, smash the like screen. If you guys are on the YouTubes and the Twitters, smash the like button, comment, subscribe, do all the things. We are trying to get to 100 followers, subscribers. We're trying to get to 100. We've got a lot of milestones we're trying to hit, Tim. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, right? We're 14 away from there. So if you guys are on TikTok, follow us on YouTube or subscribe to us on YouTube, Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. We're trying to get to 3,500 Twitter followers. And I'd like to get to 5,000 before the season. So follow us on Twitter at LH Fan Battle. And if you guys are on TikTok, follow us Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. We're trying to get to 2,500 TikTok followers by the season. So just milestones for us. Nothing insane. We're a small podcast. We love Texas sports. We like talking about them. And of course, we are a fan battle, part of the Fan Battle Network, fanbattlesports.com, where you can find the latest and greatest from the AFC South, including the Colts, Texans, Jaguars, and who's the other team that's in the division? Titans. Yes, fanbattlesports.com. And of course, you can catch us every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, here on all three of these channels, the TikTok, the YouTube, the Twitter. We're trying to find a system that allows us to post all three at the same time. Having some challenges there, but we appreciate you guys joining. Smash the screen on your phones, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Tim, I want to go ahead and start talking about Chris Del Conte's town hall. Right, he does this town hall every year since he's been here, and there's a couple key points that I do want to talk about. Obviously, the big piece of news is there will be a spring game this year.
Right.
You were a big proponent of this last year. Mm-hmm. I was indifferent, mm-hmm. but as the season played out, I will admit that I was wrong. Right, like I do think that this team could have benefited from a spring game last year.
Yep.
Why don't you talk a little bit about your thoughts on the spring? First off, before I get too ahead of myself, April 18th is the spring game. There's going to be more information that comes out. It's going to be followed by a fan day, similar to what happened last year. Mm-hmm. But it is confirmed that a spring game will happen April 18th. Your thoughts?
I think this is great in this situation because I'm an Austinite through and through, right? So I grew up going to these things. Being able to get a close interaction with fans, coaches, staff, and just other Longhorn fans, I think it is a really, really great concept. And Texas isn't the first to do spring games. Spring games are throughout the league, throughout the country, throughout schools, throughout the country, whether it be North or South, whatever conference you're in, right? That it's a big deal. I remember a couple years ago when Dion came, like they were selling spring tickets for like $5 a pop or $6 a pop. I can't remember exactly what they did, and they like sold out. And so, me personally, as a person that likes football all year round, I watch all the football I could possibly get. I've even watched some Canadian. I watched the United Football League. I watched the XFL. To be able to go to a game and see the young guys kind of, come out and kind of take the reins, or getting to see a young quarterback like an Arch. Well, he's not necessarily young anymore, but like getting to see somebody young, like maybe a KJ Lacey or like a Dia Bell, get a couple reps in there before the series starts. And it's also, they make it very affordable. If I don't know about a lot of guys that are tuning in, but you can. They do have like these big estate sales, if you if you want to put it like that, where they sell like game worn jerseys, practice jerseys, cleats. I know there's a lot of kids out there that could possibly be the next left tackle for the University of Texas. Those kids might need some cleats. If you wear a size 14, 15, 16, those cleats might be available for said kid to get access to them at a pretty discounted price, right? We're talking like 50, $60 versus going and paying $200, $300 for some cleats, baseball jerseys, basketball, plenty of things that, Texas fans can go and get at a discounted rate. And also, like, to be completely honest with you, like, it just makes it a little bit more affordable for a family event. Let's just be honest, like, the times that we're in, it is really hard to get tickets. Like, people like me and Harish, we currently don't have children, working on that, but don't have children. So going to a game is really not that hard. Me and Harish over the years have just bought tickets same day and just went to a game. Not everybody's in that situation where they can do that. So having a spring game where people can go have a good time, maybe get some food, maybe just hang out. It's a really good time. April is not blazing hot. Um, and when I mean blazing hot, I mean it's not 100 degrees. It might be 90, but it's not 100 degrees, and that makes a big difference. Some people don't go to these games because in August it is real hot, and October for most people it is like fall, but for us it's high 90s. So being able to go and see, everybody kind of get a snap. It is great. It does give the guys a kind of a game day atmosphere. They turn up the volume, they turn up the music, fans cheer. There's no real contact. There's no real hitting, but just being able to see kind of everybody get reps is really really cool.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry, all good points, Tim. I think as we talk about fan friendly prices, is one of the things Del Conte called out. $3 fountain drinks and bottled water and popcorn. Like, I went to the A&M game this year, and it was very affordable from a concession standpoint, right? So we'll
Yeah.
see a lot of those prices this year, as well as Del Conte confirmed. I'd like to see even more like options at that price, right? Getting into the gate is as expensive as possible. A really cool stat, and this has nothing to do with the spring game. A really cool stat that Del Conte called out is they actually prevented 7,000 tickets this year from being essentially sold off the
Yeah.
third party market, which is really cool.
Scalping is a big deal, especially at
Yeah.
a game. It's a huge deal.
And especially this year, where listen, the home slate this year is pretty action packed.
Yeah.
Right. You got Ole Miss coming here. You got Ohio State coming here. Florida's coming here this year. They should be hopefully like we'll see. We'll see what the quarterback situation is there, but they should be pretty good. Who else is coming? I think Mississippi State is coming here. So I mean, you've got a decent home slate this year. And so you want to make sure that your fans can get in. Number one, number two, you want to make it affordable when they get there.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think Del Conte is doing and saying all the right things. Another thing that he called out that's very interesting is he said that they're going to play out all their contracts non-conference. Right. So what does that mean? That means that they're going to play. Obviously, they're going to play Ohio State this year. They're going to play Michigan next year, and they're also going to play Notre Dame in 20. I think that's 2028.
Isn't Miami in there?
Mm,
Wasn't Miami in the mix?
I'll take a look. I don't think it was I think it was Notre Dame.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm vigorously typing on my keyboard.
Yeah.
Let me go check FP schedules. Let's see. It looks like I think it was Notre Dame.
Okay.
Yeah, so 26, 27 is Michigan.
Okay.
And then 28 is I want to say it was Notre Dame. Now, if there's something down the line, that might be different.
Right.
But it looks like which, by the way, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but that 2027 schedule looks brutal for Texas.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's real
Yeah,
tough.
28 is Notre Dame.
All of the main important games that I believe in 27 are on the road.
So far that's what it. Well,
Yeah.
so far that's what it looks like.
Based on the like home and homes, it looks
Yeah.
like a lot of
Well,
those
you
are
also got 9 SEC schedules, right? So right as of today, the 27 schedule looks like home to Michigan, at Alabama, at Arkansas, at South Carolina, home to Auburn, home to Georgia, home to Kentucky, Red River, home to Aggies, and then at Vanderbilt.
that's tough.
That's brutal.
That's tough.
Some really good home games there, though, right? You get home Michigan, home Arkansas, home Auburn, home Georgia, home Kentucky, and home A&M. I think that's a very solid home slate.
Yep.
But of course, that's the post Arch Manning era. We will not worry. Well, maybe the post Arch Manning era, maybe not. We'll worry about that when that time counts. I think we talked about it last week. 75% sure it's not going to be Arch Manning might come back, in my opinion, next year.
You think Arch is gone after his junior year?
No, I think he's coming back.
So you think he'll do 4 years?
Yes.
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't. I would not be surprised at that.
I think he'll play 3 years.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, he'll be essentially be a graduate player next year, right? Because he's a senior this year. Next year, he'll do nothing but play football, which is what I think he wants to do. I think he's going to really enjoy that. I think for his development, it might be really good. But we'll see what happens with that. Any other notes or anything you want to talk about as far as the spring game goes? We'll obviously, as more information comes up, we'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
All we know right now is that it's happening on April 18th.
Yeah, I'm just happy that it's come back. I did. It just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth that we didn't have that opportunity to go and really kind of see what was there. I think it was very telling for us as fans in what we try to do with our community. Going to the spring game let us see a lot. I think it told us a lot, and I think a lot of the stuff that we found out throughout the uh going to the spring game like kind of gave us kind of like an insight on what was going on. um and so being able to report that and kind of go back off of that, being able to get information and footage and stuff like that, for people. Remember, you posted the deep ball to Isaiah Bond from Arch, uh and that went viral. That got over 2 million views. I think it's our highest rated video on our channel from
I
the
don't know. It was high though. It was definitely high.
it was really really high. It was up there. I know by the time we left, it was over 20,000 views.
Yeah.
And we posted it, and you know it it was a sign of things to come. Throughout that season, even though Arch was the backup at the time, we still got to see him come in and really kind of just let it rip, and that was really telling and what Park wanted to do. I'm hoping that we get the same thing again. That's all. That's really all that matters.
By the way, just a little bit of breaking news because I think these are fans that we are. The official NFL Hall of Fame class has been announced.
Yep.
Of course, after the drubbing of Bill Belichick, which I still don't understand.
That one.
But
That one was crazy.
there is a name on here I'm very excited about. Obviously, shout out Drew Brees. Westlake Chaparral gets in first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald gets in first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Luke Kuechly gets in first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And my man, one of the greatest kickers of all time,
Adam
Vinatieri gets in first. Not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he finally gets in. So shout out to those guys.
He's been on some crazy good NFL teams. Whether you're a Colts fan or whether you're a Bengals fan, he's kicked a lot of game winners to win a lot of important games throughout the NFL history. So to see him get in there, it's very awesome. Yeah. Is he going in as a Colt or is he going in as a?
I don't think it said. And then Roger Craig. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I have no idea who this is.
You don't know who Roger Craig is?
No idea who Roger Craig is.
I believe Roger Craig
He
is.
played for the Niners, but I don't know who he is.
He was a running back for the Niners. That's what it is.
He's apparently won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. Like the name, it's not like a name that sticks out.
Yeah.
This is the guy they opted for over Bill Belichick, by the way.
I don't know.
And maybe it's the saltiness in me that's just like, yeah, cool.
Look, so and to kind of put a cap on that. I think it was because of the Deflategate situation. Completely understand, but don't snub him. Like, don't snub him the first. That's just ridiculous to snub him. Is this you're making yourself. I think it makes football look bad as a whole to
Yeah.
somebody of that. He's one of 58 of what is it? 60 Super Bowls now. 58. He's won 8 of them. 8 of 58. Do you know what? Like, do you know the percentage? That's insane.
It's over 10% of them.
It's insane, dude. And so
Yeah.
to do that again, do I think he cheated? Yeah, I do. But it still doesn't negate the fact that outside of that 1 year date by date, he's he's done enough. He's done enough to
Oh, more than enough. Yeah, for sure. Look, I cannot. I obviously as a Colts fan, I can't stand the Patriots, right? But come on, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing to snub Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
Surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. And there's an indie media guy who had the audacity to tweet that he purposely picked this old guy, and he's like, I prefer picking the older seniors over a first ballot, a guy that has his first opportunity.
That's insane.
That's what's wrong.
So the thing about
voting on this,
which is is very, very, I would say, is one of the most difficult things to get into outside of maybe baseball. And I only think that baseball is hard because the writers have the power of who gets in versus who doesn't. But to the NFL Hall of Fame is about people who changed the game. And I'm not saying anything about Roger Craig. Roger Craig was a key piece on those 80s Super Bowl Niners teams. For me, I personally was not I did not grow up a Niners fan. I'm a Cowboys fan through and through, so I don't care about the Niners. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what did Bill Belichick do as a head coach to win, or what did he do to change the game? He literally implemented a system that anybody could really get in and really have a successful career. I think about people like Julian Edelman, who was a quarterback. He came in, he became a wide receiver. Danny Amendola, a small receiver, undersized, came in, was a contributor. He managed to utilize 2 tight ends, a 2 set tight end set, and destroy everybody. Like, I know for a long time, especially that season where the Broncos and the Patriots looked like the 2 best teams. We knew that they were going to end up making it to the AFC Championship. They did, and then they get to a point to where they face off against each other. The Patriots come out 2 tight end sets. They have tight ends at running back, tight ends throwing passes, tight ends doing everything, stuff we've never seen before they were doing. I think about running backs like LeGarrette Blount, who got an opportunity to be on a Patriots team, to get himself a Super Bowl after having a a good college career, but it was shunned and kind of overshadowed by the fight that he got into against Boise State. So I think about a number of these guys that got opportunities to play, they got opportunities to win, and even to get to a Super Bowl. Even Randy Moss, people had written Randy Moss off. He went to the Raiders. He really wasn't happy there. They traded for him, and they go 17-0. Like, did they lose in the Super Bowl? Yeah, but they still they still had an undefeated regular season, one of the most historic football seasons we've ever seen. So again, I don't understand it. I don't. I'm not gonna try to. I'm not gonna wreck my brain to understand it. But um, he definitely did. He's definitely changed the football aspect. I mean,
Yeah,
and hopefully it transitions into college. I don't know. I don't think these kids are ready for a type of coach like a type of coach like a Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick will get rid of you ahead of time, and you wouldn't understand. You'd be like, "Man, why did he get rid of so and so?" But then they go to another team, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Man, that player's not what they used to be." And
yeah,
now Bill Belichick has 17 second round draft picks, and
yeah.
he's drafting people that are going to get on your nerves for the next 20 years. So again, congratulations to those who made the NFL Hall of Fame. Um, but yeah, nothing Bill stupid.
Well, speaking of gross incompetence, let's go talk about another organization that's filled with gross incompetence. Let's talk about the college football committee. College football playoff schedule came out, I believe, yesterday. And Tim, I'm gonna read these dates first, and then we can talk about it, because this this might be the dumbest schedule I have ever read in the history of
How
scheduling.
does it get worse? I don't. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
First off, they don't make any changes to the playoff format, right? The playoff format stays the same,
What up,
right?
T?
The one thing that they kind of made a change to is like, there should never be a reason as Rory Harmon goes to the floor and makes a gut checking steal in this game, as she did last week against OU. But there is never uh, just like terrible mismanagement of the way this scheduling is done. So
Yeah,
listen to the schedule. I'm just going to read it. So the quarterfinals, Tim, don't start until the 30th of December. There is no New Year's Eve game this year, right? Or next year, this coming season. And then you get a triple header.
There won't be hold on one second. There won't be a playoff game. There'll be a bowl game, but it won't be a playoff game there.
Correct. There's no bowl game. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Then on January 1st, there's a triple header. The triple header that you would normally have the week before,
right,
is the triple header on New Year's Day, which fine, cool, like whatever, right? This is where this is insane. There is a 2-week gap between the quarterfinals and the semifinals. So think about it. Notre Dame gets in next year.
Yep.
Not only will Notre Dame play their last game like the last week of November.
Yep.
They then won't play their first playoff game for at least 30 days. If they get a bye, they won't play their first game for over 45 days, 60 days.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy, right? Like, if Notre Dame gets a bye, they won't. Actually, no. They will. The quarterfinals. They'll play in the quarterfinals. Wait, what happened to the first round games?
So, like, think about it like this. So, Notre Dame, they usually wrap up their game. What is it, week 15 before the conference championships, or is it after? No, it's before. Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's something not right here.
That following week after the Army Navy game. Now the Army Navy game is after the fact, so they'll be off. The conference championship game is usually that first weekend. Then there'll be the Army Navy game. No, I'm sorry. Flip that. Army Navy game, conference championship. It's still a long period of time. It's at least 3 weeks. Texas will be
There's something missing here. because what I'm reading here is like it's almost like they read it. They're putting it as a, like there's not going to be a first round game this year.
That's insane. We know that's not true. It'll
So
definitely.
unless I'm like me reading this incorrectly,
Mhm.
let me check some here. Here's the official website. Let me go check the official website.
That's the thing and why you're doing that. That's my gripe about the college football playoff, the committee. Everything is it's so scatterbrained. It's like it's all over the place. You can't really put things together on what's what. They don't really go into detail. Do you remember how we spent on a month when they broke down the actual new playoff schedule? We for a month we explained it every weekend because people didn't understand what the playoff system was or how it was going to work, and they continue to tweak and move things and modify things, and it just makes things even more convoluted um and more it just makes it more confusing. Bottom line, I personally think, and I think we all know why they made these moves. They made these moves to not compete with the NFL. They don't want to compete with the NFL. That's why they made all these moves.
Yeah,
Because
because this will conflict with like wild card weekend, right?
wild card
And
weekend,
that's
they don't want
yeah,
to. They don't want to compete with that because they're going to lose. I mean, NFL is king. Like I would say, college football is a second. But the NFL is king. Wild card weekend, especially if your team's in it. I don't care what. Listen, I love college football. If my Dallas Cowboys are in a wild card and they can make a move or they're winning, I'm watching that. And I love Texas. I love Texas with all my heart. But I have not seen Dallas win in over 30 years. So
yeah,
if they're in a situation where they're competing, and listen, I might pull a nerd move and just have all the games going. Chances are that's probably what I would do. But if I had to pick, if Wisconsin somehow made the playoff, I'm not I'm not I'm not watching that game if the Cowboys are playing on Wild Card Weekend. I'm just not doing it. And
yeah,
they have the same time slot. I'm sorry, and I love college football. I love football in general.
yeah. I think I'm reading this correctly now. This is just specifically talking about once we get to the quarters. This is what the schedule will look like. But even then, that basically means if you don't have a first round game, your last game is the end of that last week of November, right?
Or is it
And
the
then you get
last
a
week or the first weekend of December?
if but what if you don't make the conference championship?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. But
Right?
you're
If
still
you
high
don't make the
ranked seed.
conference
You're still
championship, it's the
yeah,
last week of November. You
yeah,
get 30 days off, right?
yeah.
That's to play
No,
a
you're right.
quarterfinal game, right?
Yeah.
If you get a bye, and then you get 2 weeks off after that. And Blake says I prefer college football, honestly, but I don't have a team in the NFL. It's cool, but college football is better to me. Hey, and that's fair. Look,
That's
there's
fair.
a lot of guys like those, Blake, and that's okay.
Yeah. And
There's
sometimes
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. Sometimes if the Cowboys suck and the Longhorns are great, I'm probably going to be more inclined to watch the Longhorns. I would say that I was more inclined to watch the Longhorns this year. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. Based on some of these matchups and how things were going this year, this past football season, if there's a more compelling team in the NFL that's going to be available in that same time slot, I don't know if I'm going to watch that. I will be. I was not in Harish. I don't know about you. I did not care for the JMU game. I
I
watched.
watched like the first quarter.
I watched the first half of that, and I said, "Oh my god, what are we doing?" That's when I really. That's when I really, really got up. I completely got upset with the college
Yeah, I think it's the G5 piece of this that makes me
yeah,
the most
the G5 part of
unappreciated.
it, the G5 part of it is like, all right, this is a scrimmage.
Yeah, I understand like the G5 stuff and I think basketball comparing like what happens in basketball and what happens in football are two completely
Yeah,
different
and
things.
majority of those times, like even with the G5 teams in basketball, like some of these guys are like 23 and 24-year-old men. These are men playing basketball, and
Yeah,
they've been in college for like 2 or 3 years. Some of these guys are like top guys that maybe went to a Kansas or a Power Four school and decided, hey, like I'm gonna go to a smaller school. I'm not getting playing time. I'm gonna go to a smaller school and try to get some reps in, get some tape out there, so that I can either pursue an NBA career or pursue a bigger team at a later time through the transfer portal. And that's why you get some of these Gonzaga, or not Gonzagas, but you get some of these Washingtons or these, you get a JMU situation. Like it's a little different with basketball versus football. Football is not the same. It's usually you get to a certain age and you kind of like either go to the NFL or you try to make it somewhere else. So, um, I personally am not a fan of what they're doing. I know what they're doing because they're trying to avoid the big dog. And to me, you either bump the
oh,
season
okay.
and make it and start it in August, like 2 weeks. Like instead of starting at the end of August, that week zero, you need to bump that week zero up to mid August.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, you're gonna be going up against what, NFL preseason. NFL preseason is only 3 weeks long now. Like
yeah.
it's not.
You got a whole week. You could bump up week 0. We can be fine,
No, bump it up. What are we
and
doing?
make everybody play week 0.
Bump it up. Make everybody play that week conference team that they're gonna play Alabaster State. They can play week zero, dog. Do it. Get it out the way. Get it out
Yeah.
the way. Um,
Yeah.
invitation.
Blake also says they have to figure the G5 out. I agree.
You
They need
do
to
have
do
to.
something. You have to figure it out.
Check me out on this. What do you think about this? They need to do something, and I think Pete, what's his name? From Pete State. What is his name? My man from. I'm drawing a blank. Uh,
I'm
anyway,
talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. Are you
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Josh Pate?
Yeah, Josh Payton. Josh
Yeah,
Payton, which he's
I forgot
phenomenal.
his name.
Yeah, Josh Payton. Sorry, I keep thinking Pate State University. Um, but Josh makes a very, very good. He made a very, very good change. I guess is how he would go about it, and
Yeah,
he was saying that he would do like an invitational situation, like
I would too. I agree with that.
get get all of the big games on that week zero.
Yep.
You start your season, go from there.
Yeah.
Go from there. Get that Big 12 SEC matchup. Get the Notre Dame versus whoever their rival are. They've got 15 of them. Get those guys out of there. Get get those out. Get those Arkansas versus name Texas team. They're playing Jerry World. Do that. Get that out of there, and
Yeah.
then continue on with the season. You cannot continue to push. You realize that national championship game is 2 weeks later than what it's supposed to be.
This year, yeah. Well, next year it's going to be the national title game, and it's like the 25th next year.
Who?
But also, did you notice the Super Bowl is until Valentine's Day next year?
Yes,
I don't know why that happened.
dude. The way it used to be, and I'm showing my age right now. It used to be where the college football playoff or the college football national championship game was played at the very beginning of January.
The first,
No,
yeah, like the first Monday in
no,
January.
no later than MLK Day at least.
Yep.
Okay, I'm talking like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, like in that realm. And then two weeks later, at the end of January, you still the Super Bowl. After 9/11, that changed. And
It's crazy.
I get why it changed. I understand it. But
I think it just goes to the bigger issue here is obviously the scheduling is a problem. The portal was a problem this year. It still continues to be the problem. This just has to do like there's just a gross incompetence in the NCAA,
yeah,
and it's further proof that an outside agency needs to come in and take over college football.
there needs to be a commissioner in college
A
football.
commissioner that
Which
now, if they have NCAA oversight, fine, whatever. But there needs to be a commissioner. They need to figure out a way to get out of like computers and rankings and committees
I
and do
think that
it just
they
like
need to
any
get
other league will do. We're gonna rank you. We're gonna take your schedule. You're gonna play your games, and I think the only thing that you add to this is every game that you play is calculated by. You do have to be because there's so many teams. You do
right,
have to have something that calculates this, right? I
right.
think you go to a point system. You
Yeah,
go to a point system. If you beat a top 10 team at home, you might get 5 points. But
right,
if you beat a top 10, top 5 team on the road, you might get 8 points.
right.
Just
Something,
something like that. If you
something,
beat a G5 school in November, you don't get any points.
right.
Like
You're not,
there's
if you
got to be
lose
something.
and you lose, you get punished for that.
Yep.
You should get punished for that.
Yep. The top 12 teams with the highest points get in. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I think it has to be that black and white, and then you separate the G5, and you're gonna have a G5 Division One champion, and you're gonna have a Power Four Division One champion. Guess who does that right now? Division Two.
Right.
It,
And you
it's
know
the
what?
exact. It is the exact same thing.
And for those G5 schools, and again, I understand why. Like, I went to a small school. I didn't go to a Texas. I didn't go to an Oklahoma or anything like that. So, in this case, you get those schools where you're like, I really should. We really should be in this. Some people might say, like, I think about Tulane all the time. Tulane is always making noise. But they do play harder teams. In some
Yeah,
situations, they don't, though. In some situations, they don't. And then
yeah.
you run into a situation where you run into an Oklahoma in a playoff, or you run into a Tennessee or an Oregon or something like that. And I would say Tulane is probably the outliner. But these small schools need to, if they really want to be about getting in there, they need to join bigger.
The other thing you got to fix is this Notre Dame nonsense.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
to finish like the fact that Notre Dame can get in just simply based off of the fact that they finished top 12 is insane.
yeah. That's crazy.
If they finish top 12 in the rankings, they get in.
They get a bye.
No, they just get in.
They just get in. Okay,
They just get in,
okay.
which is still stupid.
Yeah, it's
Then,
not.
then what's stopping other teams from going independent? All I got to do is finish top 12, and I can
The
make
only,
my own schedule every year.
the only thing that's stopping these other teams to not go independent is they don't have the same type of money that Notre Dame has. Notre Dame does have. Notre Dame has the money. Notre Dame has the boosters. Notre Dame has the notoriety. Notre Dame
That's
has their own network. That's the only thing. We talked about this years ago.
true. Yep.
Texas potentially going independent. That was a thing. That was
Yeah,
on the
that's a
table.
conversation we had. Yeah.
It was on the table, and people were like, "This is stupid." Well, yeah, nobody at Texas wanted that, but at the same time, you have an opportunity to where you
Well,
what happened?
Texas did get injected with $74 million today after the SEC shares went out.
I mean, are you surprised? I'm
No,
not.
I'm just
I'm
saying
not.
that's a lot.
Honestly,
That's good.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But yeah, like you have like you Texas is one of those teams. You can throw in an A&M. You can throw in a couple of teams. I can think of like 4 or 5 teams that can go the independent route. But
No.
what is that going to do for others? It's not really going to do much. That's why Texas was like, "Hey, we're going to go to the SEC," and they were like, "Why?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to bring Oklahoma as well."
Hey Blake, I know you're an OU fan. We appreciate you coming in here and having decent conversation with us. Thank you so much. Yeah, Texas would do well. I think Texas would do well, and Texas would make a hell of a lot more money than they do now as an independent.
But here's the thing, though. What was his name? Blake.
Blake.
Blake 93. Blake, I believe that Texas wouldn't shy away from actually playing against tougher opponents. I just think Notre Dame has gotten away with the preferential treatment of being an independent, playing Air Force, Navy, and Army in your season, playing a Stanford that hasn't been relevant in 10 years, playing a Cal that only really plays ball the first 8 weeks of the season, and they fall apart after the last 4 games. Like that is not, to me, that's not fun. And then you do get the occasional Miami game. You do get the occasional USC game. Those are all great. I'm not knocking those, but it's to me, it's not enough. You need more.
Yep.
And them purposely throwing like fits because they didn't get into the playoff is insane. For me, it's just insane.
It is insane. But yeah, I mean that's the schedule for next year. To remind you guys, the schedule stays the same. Sorry, the teams stay the same, so it's still going to be 12 teams. Still, highest rated G5 gets in.
I'm so glad they didn't do an expansion because it would have made things worse this year. I think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they need a year to kind of iron that out and figure out what happens there.
I think the only reason why they didn't expand to the 14 team playoff this year is because they could not get the dates together. The dates just did not work. So
yeah, that's fair.
And so adding another game in there would just make it even worse.
Yep.
So I'm glad that they did not expand this year. We know that they were going to expand and that they will eventually expand because it's already been agreed upon. This is already something that's written in stone. We know it's coming. We just don't know when. It was supposed to come this year, but I definitely think that played a key part in it. Because remember, they made the announcement that they weren't going to expand. Or they weren't. They made the announcement 2 years ago that they were going to expand.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2026. Well, it's 2026, and they made the announcement a few weeks ago that they weren't going to expand. I think it's simply because they couldn't get the scheduling together. They couldn't, and I remember they had the athletic directors for all 4 power teams had a massive meeting, and they all voted to not do it. And I think that's because what the college committee presented as far as a schedule did not work.
Yep.
They voted no. Yeah.
Tim, real quick, the women have just went on an 11-0 run. They now lead LSU by 15. 14. There's 5 minutes left about 5 minutes and 7 seconds left in that game.
This is a really good win. I think this is more of a statement win. I think with this, I think they pretty much solidify. Regardless of what happens throughout the rest of the season, I think they pretty much solidify themselves the number 1 seed.
Well, speaking of men's and women's football, basketball, since we're already on the topic, let's take a look at bracketology. They just went up 16. Let's talk about bracketology real quick. Or 15. They just went up 15. Listen, the men came off of a couple big games that they needed to win. They beat Oklahoma. Obviously, they beat South Carolina on Wednesday.
They beat South Carolina.
And then they drop a close game to Auburn team that they were up 14 on, which they shouldn't have dropped.
That was like the team of old dudes, like playing rush basketball, not playing under control, jacking up shots, not making the shots, and then trying to overcompensate and getting into foul trouble and eventually blowing a lead.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about this Texas basketball team at times, and what's interesting about this men's basketball team is they look inoperable at times on offense.
At times they look like world beaters too.
But at times they look really good on offense, right? Yeah. And what surprised me is actually like offensively, Texas is a top 5 team in offense.
That's crazy.
Which is top 5 or top 10, something like they're up there, like one of the most efficient offenses in the country, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so they win those games. It's currently, as of this morning, landed them in the last team in. So they are currently slated, as of this morning, they are slated to be in the region with Arizona,
Yep.
uh, and essentially a first round play-in game against against Ohio State. So I think Texas, they need to beat they have to beat Ole Miss this weekend. That's a game here at Moody. So you guys are home this weekend. Go check it out. But I think they have to win that game. And then I think you finish off uh February with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tough games. At
Yeah.
Missouri, home to LSU, at Georgia, home to Florida, at A&M. And I think Texas has to go 2-3 at worst.
If they could get a win against A&M, that would be a big
Yeah.
statement.
If you can get a win if you can beat at least A&M and like an LSU and a Missouri, I think you're good,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to beat Georgia because you beat them once, and if you beat them and you beat them again, fine, you sweep them, right?
No.
Beating Florida would be great because that's a ranked team. That adds another ranked win to your resume.
Right.
And then you finish the season. You got to sweep Oklahoma, and then you've got to beat Arkansas. Arkansas is ranked 21. They're actually a pretty good team. So you see what you do there. But we've seen this Texas team play very well against ranked opponents. So nothing would shock me at all if they beat Florida. And honestly, I'm still gonna say it, just like I said it for football. I don't think this A&M basketball team is that good. I just don't think they're that good.
Okay.
And you look, you lost to that A&M team by 4 points at home.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's just like that team was younger. I think that team has grown a lot since that game.
Right.
They didn't play very well in that game, and so look, I think you have it. If you can get this, so they're currently 500.
Yeah.
In SEC play, if they can win this game this week and go over 500 in SEC play, I think it's going to set up very well for them to make the tournament, not just get into the play-in. If they win this weekend and go 2-3 to end the February, I think they're in. They might be in as like a 10 seed.
But see, the thing is, and it's funny that you mentioned that, Bruce. The SEC is they're not far apart. Like they're 2 games from being a top 3 in the SEC, right? Like
something like that.
Yeah, the top 2 teams are 7-2 in the SEC. That's Texas A&M and Florida. Kentucky's right there at 7-3, and then you got a slew of 6-3 teams, and then a bunch of 5-4 teams. If you can find a way to win against some of these teams that you're going to play against some of these teams, you really put yourself in a situation where you're going to put yourself in a really good spot in the SEC tournament. You could possibly, if you get a couple games, steal a couple games through the SEC tournament, now you're really setting yourself up to. I'm not saying you're going to be a 5 seed, but you can get anywhere between 10,
8.
8 and 10, 8 and 8 and 11. I'm cool with that. I think we know what they can do. We've seen it. We haven't really talked about it much, but offensively they are a lot better than they have been in the past. Let's be completely honest with that. Again, it's just a situation of, can you guys continue to be productive in both halves? Because we've seen a tale of 2 halves. It's always been like for the longest, from Coach Barnes all the way through now. It's been a tale of 2 halves. I hate the fact that we're playing against Coach Beard. Like, I thought Beard was the guy, to make Texas really the juggernaut the powerhouse basketball team that to come. But unfortunately, that didn't work out. So going forward, I'm looking forward to see what they do. It is stressful at times to watch them, and then baseball is ramping up, and softball is wrapping up, bro.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot about that's about to happen. Um, I will say this about this Texas team. I do think they're headed in the right direction.
yeah,
I think Sean Miller is a fantastic coach. I love the way he speaks about this team. I do finally feel like there's a sense of accountability in the program.
hmm
And one of my roach says best athletic department in the country. Yeah, Texas is the best athletic department in the country, hands down. There's no doubt about it. And I think Sean Miller's going to have this team in a really good spot over the next couple of years. I think by year 3, obviously you get Austin Gooseby coming in next year. You get the kid from Westlake coming in next year. You've got some guys coming in that's going to start to help build this program up, hopefully, and not just build it up for a couple of years. Hopefully, start to build some consistency around this program, and that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas currently projected 11 seed. You gotta win. You gotta win on Saturday. If you win on Saturday, I think you can put yourself in a situation to solidify a spot in the tournament.
Yep.
On the women's side, listen, looks like Texas is going to wrap up this game against LSU. They're currently up 16 with about 2 minutes to go.
Yep, 73-57 is currently what the what the score is. There's 2:10 left in the fourth quarter.
Yep. Looks like Texas is currently the number 4 team in the country, number 1 seed. I don't know if they're going to get to that number 1 overall seed.
Right.
But I could see them potentially getting to number 2.
Yeah.
Like they've still got some games they got to play coming up.
Yeah.
Again, they've got a very impressive resume.
Yeah. They've got they don't have an easy stretch ahead either. They've got Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Those are all ranked teams. Okay.
Yep.
Arkansas, Mississippi State, Georgia, and Alabama to round it out. At the beginning of March here.
Listen, I'm taking some ankles out here, bro.
Broke somebody's ankles?
She just broke somebody's ankle. Full Wiley. She made her sweep down the floor, man.
Oh man.
Sorry, my bad. That was funny. But yeah, I mean the women also you said they had a tough schedule coming up.
Yeah, dude, they have the next 3 games is
a
number 16 Kentucky, a number 7 Vanderbilt, and a number 19 Tennessee. Those are all within the next 5-6 games, 6 days. Like
within the next 10 days, right?
That's a lot of basketball, dude. That's a lot.
Tough stretch.
Yeah, it's tough. That's
that's really tough. That'll be interesting to see how they finish this thing out. They of course finished the season against Alabama on the 1st as well. Currently projected to be a 1 seed. We'll keep track of these. I think this updates every week. Yeah. So I'll post them as I see them.
Bracketology updates every week. Yeah.
And then I think in March, I think it updates every day once we get to March.
Yeah, once you get to playing in the SEC conference championship games and things like that, things start to unfold. They'll update it more often.
And one of my roach, I think you're right. I do think they have the most ranked wins in the country, and they're about to add another one today. So, very very impressive resume. They will be a 1 seed. I think it just depends on where on the 1 line they follow. They are currently the number 4 team in the country, but they've also beaten number 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So that's what makes things interesting. And they just avenged one of their losses.
Yep.
Their only other loss this year was to South Carolina, who they also already beat.
Yeah.
So, in that South Carolina game, they lost by 3 points. So, Yeah, they're two losses they've avenged. So it'll be interesting to see where they fall. I think if they win the SEC tournament, they can climb all the way up to the number 2 seed. But yeah, we'll continue to monitor what happens. Tim, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Is there anything else you got?
Nope, not at all, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in. Of course, follow us on Twitter. If you're on TikTok, follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. Help us get to meet those milestones. Like as those milestones are 100 on YouTube, we're trying to get to 3,500 on Twitter, and we're trying to get to 2,500 on TikTok. So we're gonna get out of here. My name's Harish. This is my guy Tim Wayne. We out of here. Peace.